internationally renowned top-down researchers still commit research misconduct. Okay, there are a lot of reasons behind it. All right, okay, that was my first topic regarding research misconduct. The second one, I'd like to spend some time to talk about authorship, regarding authors. Okay, if you ever or will have to write a paper, this is something that will concern you. All right, this part, I'd like to start with a story. I'd like to start with a story. In the 50s of the 20th century, there were two very renowned Chinese physicists. Okay, they collaborated on a lot of topics, and they at one stage they came up with a very nice idea about parity violation. Okay, which is a symmetry being violated in some cases in physics. They wrote a paper on that parity violation in weak interaction, and the paper actually got them the Nobel Prize. Okay, that was a very, very outstanding work. Okay, now this was the time that they were in a full collaboration. Okay, they got along with each other very well. Now, however, after this, okay, they got into a lot of disputes. Among these, including the authorship issue. The paper they wrote got two, they got two names on the author list. The first one believed that he made a more important contribution to the paper because he was the first author. The second one did not think so. He thought the author the order of the authorship was based on the alphabetic order. Okay, he was the second because his name was in the second. The English letter is in the second place. So, but he contributed more than the first one. Okay, that was a dispute. This was Mr. Li. Okay, this was Mr. Ye. Okay, when they were in full collaboration, and we say it's a good symmetry and harmony. And when they broke up, some people call this the breaking of symmetry. Okay, that's just kind of like echoes the work they did, which is basically talk about symmetry violation. All right, okay. So after the breaking of symmetry, the relationship, okay, kind of just went from this state to this state. Okay, that's what it turned out to be in the rest of the years until now. Okay, now this picture comes from a movie. Okay, do you know this person? Okay, his last name is Lee. Okay, Lee. He's a Bruce Lee. Okay, now this actor, his last name happens to be Ye. Okay, his name is called Bolo Ye. Okay, his real name is Ye. Okay, last name is Ye. So this is Mr. Lee now. This is Mr. Ye now. Okay, was like this, Mr. Lee and Mr. Yan. Now is Mr. Lee and Mr. Ye. Okay, so this has to do with what we're going to talk about in this topic, authorship. All right, now, so importance of authorship first. When one's paper gets published, what does that mean? Means first, it's a credit, it's an honor. Means that one's contribution is recognized by the academia. Okay? Now, some people don't recognize there's another significance being an author. That is accountability. From now on, the authors are accountable, meaning that they are responsible for all the results of the paper. Okay? If anybody have questions, have concerns, these authors are responsible to address those concerns. This is called accountability. Okay? So how long these authors are supposed to be responsible for this, the paper? Forever. For the rest of their life, until they no longer exist. This part, the accountability, is very important. Okay? Should not be forgotten. Equally important, actually. Now, some considerations for determining whether authorship is warranted. Okay, maybe a lot of researchers participated in a research activity, but not all are worth the authorship. Okay, only a few of this group will eventually become the authors. We have to use some kind of a gauge to determine that, and this is something we come up with. We ask a few questions. Did a person have a key role in defining a research problem? Did a person assist with determining the procedure or method used for a project? Was a person involved in multiple parts of a project? Recruiting subjects, analyzing data, drafting the manuscript. And if you want to put all these things in short, you can just ask, did a person offer a significant intellectual contribution? Something not easily replaced, and this project would likely have been different without this person. Only up to this level of a contribution, this person is worth an authorship. All right. Now, if researchers are not worth the authorship, we recommend acknowledgement. Put their names on acknowledgement. Okay. Now let me skip this one. We have 4 categories of author we'd like to introduce. The first one is called first author. Okay. Our first author means the name is on the list, author's list. It's called first author. The second one is called senior author. Okay. Senior author is a person who takes the responsibility of everything. Okay, and he oversees the entire flow of the research. Now, the first author is maybe a person who actually carried out the main technical portion, ran the experiment, or derived all the theories. The second person is to make sure that everything is justified. Okay, the senior author. So the senior author, in that regard, doesn't have to be the oldest person of the group. A senior person simply means his role is like a senior in a group. Okay, doesn't mean he has to be the oldest in age. Okay, a senior author. The third one is called corresponding author. Corresponding author is a person who deals with the readers and the editors. Corresponding authors make sure that everything is in place before submitting the paper. In place means that let me see. Make sure that all authors are aware of and approve the submission of the manuscript, its content, authorship, and order of authorship. And if the readers have questions, they usually just look for the corresponding author to send an email to. The rest of this, we call them in middle or contributing author. The rest of this, okay, we just put them over the rest in this category. Okay. So if a paper has multiple authors, they actually belong to 4 categories. Now, after this one, these are the Chinese translations of what I just said. Okay, we have to first identify the role of these authors in terms of a group, in which category. Now, once, let me see, go ahead here. Okay, let me go to this authorship order. Okay, if there's more than one author, there's definitely an issue about who is the first, who is the second, and so on. There are typically 3 systems that we use to determine the authorship order. The first one is by order of significance of contributions. The first one contributed the most. The second one, the second. The third one, the third, and so on. The second system is the senior author is always the last. Identify the senior author, he is the last. Okay, the rest of the authors are ordered by the significance of contributions. Okay, so the senior author, although the last, is by no means the least in terms of contribution in most of the cases, but that's just a system. Another one is called alphabetical order. Okay, alphabetical order just by English alphabetical order. Mr. Li and Mr. Yan got into dispute because one was thinking of using the first order, one was thinking of using the third order. Okay, although they collaborated for so long, they could still get into this dispute. The reason being that we never really clearly explain this, okay, in a lot of occasions. So some authors coming from a particular background would just say that you believe that they always use this order and felt that was the only order the entire academia would use. Okay, which is not the case when there are multiple groups involved. You have to be careful. Okay. This is not a very clear area, okay? A lot. No, that's not getting into this one. Okay, let me spend some time on this one here. Okay, there are practices we should avoid. Okay, these practices happen in Asian countries a lot in these days. So I have to spend some time to do that. The first one is called co-Asian authorship. Means one becomes an author because of the force, because of the might, because of the just because not because of the research contributions. Okay. For example, a chairman might impose a mandate. From now on, all papers published in my department must bear my name, because I'm the chairman, first of all. Second, I run the whole department, right? So your lab is actually under my contribution. Okay, I pay the bills. Okay, I pay utility bills. Okay, that happened. That happened. Okay. The second one is called denial of authorship. One actually did a lot of contribution, but was turned down to be the author. Okay, just a lot of maybe some laboratory politics involved. That was turned down. That's not a good idea. Duplication authorship. I think duplication. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is not the translation. Duplication authorship means that you can send a lot of papers. Okay, you got pretty much the same thing published in a lot of places. Okay, just pretty much the same results. Just repeat repetition of publications. Okay, gift or guest authorship. Mr. A did all the research, but he drags Mr. B to be on the author's list because Mr. B is a good friend of Mr. A. Okay, gift authorship. Ghost authorship. Okay, that doesn't mean a person died and then start writing paper. That means the following. Okay, Mr. A did all the research, wrote the paper, did everything, but he chose he chose not to be the author. Instead, he invited Mr. B to be the author. Okay, there were cases like this in the past. Okay, one pharmaceutical company in Canada, they got a researcher did a research about the effect of a new drug, kind of just produced by the company, effectiveness and so on. It got some good results. But this author didn't want the company's name to be shown on the affiliation list of the paper. Otherwise, the readers wouldn't kind of just be into this. So instead, this author, this person, okay, this researcher, invited the professor of McGill University to be the author. Okay, that professor didn't do anything, be on the author list. Somehow sounds more subjective. Okay, and they got caught. Of course, that's how the case is surfaced. But that's what it means. Mutual support authorship. Both Professor A and Professor B are up to a promotion this maybe next year. So they decide to help each other. Mr. A uses put B's name, B puts A's name on all your papers. So they double your quantities. That's mutual support. The last one is called a salami publication. Salami means you got a research result, okay? So you just chop it off like a salami into a lot of slices, okay? Convert a research result into a lot of units called list publishable units, okay? Which Asian scholars like to do these things because they are evaluated by the numbers, by quantity. They like to do these things. All right. Now we not get into this one. We have other topics in this area, but I won't get into it. Rather, I want to use the rest of my time to get into some cases. Okay, these are real, true stories. Okay. First of all, if you browse the internet, sometimes you get into a web page like this. This is an IEEE web page. Says there's a paper, the title is there, and there's a comment that says notice of violation of IEEE publication principle. So this paper actually is being retracted by the transaction, the journal, okay? But it still keeps the record like this, so everybody knows these authors committed FFP, research misconduct. This record shows there forever, okay? This is another one. That was another one. Oh no, let me get back here. Okay, this is another website, the database. Okay, the database. You see, basically, just this is the title paper. Then there's a notice from the publisher determining the authors of an article plagiarized the contents from previously published paper. So they keep a whole record on there. Besides this, which everybody can see it if you just browse the internet, go to those journals websites. If you go to the U.S. government office, the Office of Research Integrity, the one mentioned in the beginning, which oversees the research ethic policy of the country. Okay, this is what the first page is like. In the first page is like. In this place, there's a misconduct case summaries. They investigated a lot of cases. Once they've been confirmed, they put this on the website. Okay, so everybody gets to see this. Okay, so if you click out here, you get to see the next page. Okay, you get to see the next page. This is what the next page is. They go by years. A lot of summaries. This year there are this many violations, 8 of these altogether. Okay, by previous years, you click on this, you'll see a lot of names pop up. Now, if you click on the first one, first name over here, okay, these are real names, the real scholars. Okay, you get into this page. Not very clear on this page, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you don't have to read those things. Basically, the idea is that they have identified this person, PhD, former director of NIH, okay, falsified some experimental data. Okay, remember falsification? This is belongs to this one is falsified data, and these are the papers. They list all the 3 papers. Okay, and these are the details of a falsification, like figure 1, and this place they change the data points and so on. Okay, and this stays on government website. Okay, that's something you see it. And there are a lot of cases like this. There are also some individual cases, okay, more like high-profile cases. Okay, the first one I would like to mention, address is Yoshitaka Fuji. He was an associate professor in Toho University of Japan. He was found fabricated data in 172 papers. All got retracted by more than 20 journals in 2012. The committee, Toho University committee, they actually had a report. It is as if somebody sat at a desk and wrote a novel about the research idea. Okay? Of course, the most astonishing part of this page is that this is the world record of retractions. It was set 2 years ago, 172. Okay? We hope nobody beats this record. This person actually can do these things single-handedly. Okay? This actually shows something behind the scenes. It shows 2 signs. First of all, a lot of journals, their review system, are very, very fragile. Okay, you can really easily penetrate. A lot of journals are looking into this right now. Okay, we need to fix. We really need a serious fix. The second sign you can read from this page is that a lot of universities are not very serious about monitoring their faculty members' progress. Okay, a faculty member like this, you can clearly see there's not a lot of activities in the lab. Continuous publishing papers, more than 10 each year, and nobody ever raised any suspicion about that. That sounds a little awkward. Okay, so maybe we can learn a few things from this. Next case is called Haruko Okokata. Okay, she received his PhD from Waseda University, that's in Japan. Okay, served as the lab director of recon. which is a very prestigious lab in Japan in these days. Okay, this story is just this year. Okay, the news is started in the beginning of this year. She got a paper published. Okay, in which basically well, 2 papers published in Nature. Okay, she basically just claimed that she can grow these STAP cells. Okay, STAP is a kind of cell that has it can be diversified into others. Okay, into a lot of other tissues. Okay, just can grow by itself with external stimuli. Okay, so this is like a multifunctional cell. Okay, it was big news. Okay, when the news broke out, they succeeded in making these papers. The Japanese actually believe she was a Nobel Prize contender. Okay, very close to that caliber. Okay, very big deal. However, they found papers got committed fabrication and falsification, and therefore the papers retracted. Some unfortunate news happened afterwards. Her PhD advisor committed suicide after recon completed the report, the entire investigation report. Okay, and blamed the PhD thesis advisor for not doing his due job. Okay, he hung himself. Now, a corresponding author, Charles Van Catty, he was a professor. He is actually a professor of Harvard. Resigned as hospital administrator and asked for 1-year sabbatical leave. Okay, this author is the only non-Japanese author of the paper, because she took 2 years leave in her PhD program and went to Harvard and did a lot of research in his lab. Okay, that's how he became the corresponding author. Okay, so he also got burnt. Okay, the most recent news, just like a week ago, is that she just resigned from recon. Okay, the whole story was like when she confessed of fabrication and maybe falsification of 2 papers, which was like roughly in the middle of this year. She, however, insisted that those cells do exist. She actually could produce those cells, just that the papers weren't very clear. Okay, she kind of like just jumped the paper, published papers in a rush. Okay? She wanted to get credit. She insisted that those cells could be produced. So the company gave her 3 months to work on these things again. Okay, her lab, the cameras mounted on everywhere. Just look at her. Okay, 24 hours, 7 days. She tried many times. She said more than 50 times. Okay, couldn't reproduce the result. Finally, she gave up just like a week ago. Okay, she didn't use the whole time the company allocated for her. She just gave up early. She didn't have the energy to do that, so she quit. Okay, now let me just say one more word. Her alma mater was Cedar University. In this year also found that she had something plagiarized on her thesis. Okay, that's different from these 2 Nature paper, fabrication and falsification. She copied something from other place for her thesis, and the university, out of suspicion, because they believe a person might have a pattern along the trail, investigated her thesis and found that the thesis was faulty, so they retracted her PhD degree. Okay, but they gave her 1 year mercy period, saying that if you can somehow clean up those things, we can reissue your degree. So her degree was also burned because of this. Next is a Korean professor, Hwang Woo-suk. Okay, he was a professor at Seoul National University. Was picked by Time Magazine as one of those people who matured in 2004, and he also had a good invention. He cloned a dog. Okay, he cloned a dog. That invention was listed as an invention of the year for 2005, also by Time Magazine. Okay, that was the peak of his career. And this was a dog. The name is Snoopy. Okay, now he was already well established world-renowned scholar. However, he was still found that he fabricated data in two science papers, 2004 and 2005. Not because of the dog. Okay, the dog was real. Okay, something else. Okay. He adopted some cloning technology for strand cell production. Okay, he got caught. Okay, and he was dismissed in 2006. Those two papers, when they published, they were considered a real big deal. Okay, Koreans believed he could be a Nobel Prize winner one day. They actually praised him to be a national hero. Okay, he was that caliber. Then was dismissed from a faculty post after he was found fabricating data. His misfortune did not end there. He was also convicted of embezzlement and about ethical violations by the legal procedure. Okay, and got 18 months of suspended prison sentence. Suspended means that he didn't have to serve. He just got 2 years. Okay, but just suspended. Okay, so that's this person. Next person, let's go to the U.S. David Baltimore and Teresa Imanishi-Carey. Okay, this is David Baltimore. This is Teresa Imanishi-Carey. He was a professor of MIT. He got his Nobel Prize in 1975. She was an assistant professor of MIT. Now, in 1986, he did some research in his lab, and he needed a special skill to carry out a step in an experiment. So he invited her to join this effort. So she did a particular part of the research, and they came up with a paper published in Cell, Cell Journal. He was the last author. She was the second to last author. There are 5 authors altogether. Okay. Then they received a lot of suspicion. Okay, the reports that this Office of Scientific Integrity, and based on a whistleblower. Okay, let's just put this whistleblower. Actually, later we found out that Imanishi-Carey committed 19 counts of research misconduct. Baltimore did not commit research misconduct. He was found fault of negligence, because the whistleblower approached him regarding some issues, some experimental data. He didn't pay attention to that. Instead, he decided to side with her. Okay, that's he was faulted for negligence. After that, the paper was retracted. Baltimore at that time was already a president of Rockefeller University. He resigned from the university. He also apologized publicly for not taking the whistleblower's charge seriously. That was 1986 all the way to 1991. Okay, in 1996, they were both exonerated. Means all the charges were dismissed by an appeal committee of this office. Okay, appeal committee. The committee found that they actually made a lot of mistakes in the paper, but none of this got to the caliber of FFP. Okay, they were exonerated. The reason I mention this case is because although they finally were cleared, okay, they were cleared of all the charges, it took them 10 years to be dragged by this scandal. Okay, David Baltimore was a Nobel Prize winner. Of course, he didn't need a paper, okay, to establish his prestige. Okay, he just accidentally got dragged into this, and took him 10 years. Okay, and cost him a president of the university. So this research ethics is not just for students or young scholars. This thing is for everybody. Okay, everybody has, as long as doing research, has to be careful about this research ethics. Okay, can maybe drag into this because of carelessness. Okay, so I just make a note on this. Next person, the physicist, Jan Hendrik Schoen. He was a researcher in Bell Lab. Okay, he's in the beginning of the century, he was praised for creating field effect transistors with only tiny organic molecules. Okay, and